Thank you for joining me. Today we'll be working with the pelvis and how we can be oriented to the pelvic area and how that helps to keep our back strong, lengthened, how we can go into forward bending and many of our other standing poses. We'll be doing 3 poses: Prasarita Padottanasana, Uttanasana and Paschimottanasana. We'll use 2 blocks. I've got a bandage, a chumbal, and a rolled towel. So one of those 3. And then 2 straps. Okay? So let's get started. Before we start our practice, I wanted to let you know about my online programs and workshops. Whether you're new to Iyengar yoga and want to learn the basics in a systematic way, a seasoned practitioner looking to revisit the essentials, or a yoga teacher seeking inspiration, these programs and workshops are self-paced, allowing you to make consistent progress and revisit specific topics whenever you like. You can find the link in the description below. With that said, let's begin our practice today. This is a crepe bandage roll. It hasn't been unrolled, so it's still in its plastic. Just something firm. Or I have this chumbal, which is from India. It's also very dense and firm. In case you don't have one of those, you can just get a towel and roll it very densely so that you can use this. We're going to bring this to our sacrum. So here we're connecting the legs to the pelvis and the pelvis to the rest of the spinal column. And we'll be doing 3 forward bends, and in these forward bends we're going to use a strap. The first one we're going to use either a very long strap or you'll strap 2 straps together. So here I have the end of one strap. You can go ahead and do this with me. So get your straps. And I'm going to unroll this strap. I want to have it extra long. So I'm going to be going into Prasarita Padottanasana with you. So that's a very wide stance. And due to that fact, I'm going to need a longer strap. Okay, so I'm unbuckling this one. Just giving you time to get your strap or straps. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these straps to one another so that they can become one long strap. So I'm taking the end of one and the buckle of the other, bringing it up and down, and now I have one very long strap. So now I'm going to find the end of this strap and the end of this strap and buckle that. Okay, now it's going to be too long, but it's going to be long enough, longer than one single strap or even a long strap. So I'm taking up a lot of the strap. I'm going to keep it quite wide, and then we'll see how much we need. Okay, so Prasarita Padottanasana. We're going to stand at the back edge of the mat. And as I bring my legs apart, I still want to keep the legs connected into the pelvis. So the pelvis level, tailbone moving down and forward, pubic bone lifting, so that the whole spinal column is lifted up. Now you may be wondering what that has to do with all these straps. So I'll show you. So you'll bring one strap under the heel of the left foot, and then the other end of the strap under the heel of the right. So I'm using the edge of the mat so that you can see that your legs are equidistant apart. So take about 5.5 foot distance. Now that strap is on the front. I want to have that strap, so it's going to be on my hip, on my sacrum, right on the lower back. So as I bend forward, it's on the lower back. So let me just show you. So your hip bones are here, your sacral band is here. So that strap is going to go here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend forward, and I'm going to bring this chumbal there, and then I'm going to have the strap on top of that. So that helps to bring the pelvis in as I connect the legs up. Okay? So let me come back into that. So give you time to step into your strap. When you first go into it, it'll be in front of you. Take your legs wide. Bring the strap over my head. Bring it onto my lower back. And now I'm going to tighten that strap up. I can also tighten it on the one up here. And then before I get it too tight, so I'm going to unravel it and bring it right onto the sacrum. So I'm bringing the chumbal there. You can bring your rolled towel there. You could bring a bandage there. And I want to have it quite tight. So I'm going to bend the knees, and as I bend the knees, I get a little bit more slack, and I'm pulling up on that. Keep that chumbal or the towel or the bandage right at the top of the tailbone, the sacrum, and then bring your hands in front of you. Press the heels out so you can feel more contact of that pressure on your sacral band there. Move that in, lengthen forward. Now press into the outer edges of the strap. This will help you to keep the outer sides of the foot down, lifting up. And then you can walk your hands back. And if you feel that you can walk your feet a little bit further apart as you're there, then do that. As I bring my hands back, I can feel this slipping a bit. So I'm going to rearrange it as I move my legs a bit. And then you can pull down on that strap, move the sacrum in, and lengthen forward. So just watch that you're not on the heels, just moving the hips back, but you shift your weight forward so you feel the weight on the front of the foot as well. And then again, come to the outer edge, the outer foot, lifting the arches, lifting the inner legs. Bend the elbows and bring the head down. Where you can feel the strap at the lower back, move that area in. Stay there for a few breaths. And then look up. Keep that firmness on the strap. Bring your hands forward. Concave the back. Shift your hips back. And then in preparing to come up, press into the heels. Press into the mounds of the toes. Draw the knees up. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Bend the knees and come out. Okay? All right, so that is a nice way to connect the pelvis with the legs and to get some more extension. Now we're going to do the same thing, and we'll shorten the strap. We're going to come into Uttanasana. So I shortened it a little bit too much. Okay, I have the strap around my hips. It's a little bit loose, so I'm going to bend my knees and pull up on that strap so that I get it tight while the knees are bent. I have it right on the lower back. This time, I'll take the bandage, and I'm going to put the bandage at the back. It's a different length. So it's more narrow but longer. So I'm going to put the more narrow edge against the sacral band. And then I can feel as I straighten the legs, bring your feet together If you need to have your feet apart for Uttanasana, you can have your feet apart as well. So have that bandage there, and then begin to straighten the legs. You can use blocks also if you're not able to bring your fingertips to the floor, or you can bring your hands onto that strap and pull that strap down, holding onto the ankles. Again, extend the feet from the front of the foot, move the head of the toes down, and lengthen the toes. Press the inner heel down and lift up through the knees. So it's getting a little bit relaxed. So if your strap starts to stretch a little bit, which it may do depending on the fabric, if it's coming off that central space, just readjust it. You can even keep your hands there to make sure the strap doesn't move. And then bring the sacral band in, lengthen forward, and then release the head. Inner knees moving back, inner thighs moving back. Shift your weight more forward. So here I have my feet together, so I'm having to balance. If you have your feet apart a little bit, it can be a little bit easier. So I'm going to lift the head, concave the back, which is how we always go into forward bends. First, to get that length through the front body. So you would start this way. If your fingers on the floor don't reach and your back is rounding, then take a couple blocks. So I'm just going to get the blocks. Have the blocks in front. And then you'll start over. So the strap is a really nice way to feel that the sacral band is moving in, and then from there you can lengthen your lower back. So always starting with your knees bent. Step into the strap. And then from there, adjusting the strap. I'm going to put the bandage back in. So you have to play with it, get used to it. And then you can start in this concave back position with your hands underneath the shoulders, thighs moving back, lengthen forward. You can see your knees. So have your knees tracking so that they're right over the second and third toe. If your knees are going out to the sides, bend the knees, lift the knees, move the kneecap to the back of the knee and the back of the kneecap toward the front of the kneecap, and lift the kneecaps up. You can take the blocks lower, walk the blocks closer to you, still concaving the back. That might make a difference in your strap, so be willing to adjust it when you need to. You can take the blocks further back, bend the elbows, and release down. Take the hands wide, keep the chest wide. From the hips, press into the heels, move the sacrum in, lengthen the lower back, up to the middle back, up to the upper back, shoulders lifting up, release the head. And then inhale, come up, bend the knees, come up. All right, take that out. And now you're going to have one blanket to sit on. We're going to come into a forward bend. If you want to have more height, if you need more height for your lower back, then you'll sit on two blankets. You can also sit on a block. From here, you're going to, again, use that strap. So now we're coming into Paschimottanasana. And in Paschimottanasana, again, we're moving from the sacral band. So the hips, the legs moving into the pelvis, sacral band moving in, lower back lengthening as we come first to the concave back position. So just arranging your strap. You have all these ends here, so untangling. I'm going to bring it onto the ball of the foot. Bring it around my back. You can start with your knees bent. So as you bend your knees, then you'll bring that strap around. Here are my hip bones here. So it's just below my hip bones, right at the greater trochanter here, where the thigh bones meet the pelvis. So that area is where you want the strap on the outer sides. So that's the trick, to keep it there. So now I'm going to place that bandage there. Okay, because that strap is narrow, I'm bringing it lengthwise. And I feel like I can almost straighten that a little bit more. I'm going to bring this strap onto my heels. And extend my heels. So as I sit, I'm extending the legs. The feet are connected. The lower back is connected, moving in. And then from there, I lift up through the lower back, up through the middle back. You can bring your fingertips back behind you, lifting the armpit chest, descending the shoulder blades, moving the shoulder blades in. So feel that connection, feel that firmness with the legs. As you press into the heels, draw the toes back, draw the kneecap up, and lift up from the lower back up, right up through the crown of the head. All right, now we're going to do another way as well. So you release the strap just slightly. Bring the strap onto the mounds of the feet. Okay, I might make it a little bit tighter at this point. So adjust your strap however you need to so that you can, we're going to use the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, to press the strap away, okay? So as I press it, it will directly pull here, and I'll be able to have more access to the sacral band to move in. Okay, let's see if I got enough distance or too much, too short. Okay, so there. Bring the hands back, and then press your feet away from you and lift up. I have it a little tight, so adjust it if you need to, so you can spread the foot, toes aren't getting crammed. And if you feel that your ankle bones are rubbing against one another too much, you can take an end of the strap and bring it between the ankles. That will help to give you a little cushioning there. Okay? So now press through the mounds of the big toes, press the big toes away from you, and start to straighten the legs. So the front of the kneecap, has got the front facing up toward your skin. It also has the back facing down toward the back of your knee. So from the back of the kneecap, lift up to the front kneecap. From the front kneecap, move down to the back kneecap. So do that. Find the back of the kneecap, lift up to the front. From the front, descend down to the back. So the kneecap is fully engaged. And now lift the kneecap, all those corners of the kneecap, lift up toward the inner leg. Look at your knees. See if they're not straight. So you want your knees tracking over your feet, in line with the center of your thigh. And then press into the toes, come forward, move that sacral band in, start to come forward on your strap, lift the chest, concave the back, keep the inner thighs moving down, inner knees moving down. So here, this is helping me to get that forward bend action, pivoting at the hips, so lengthening and then begin to come forward. You can even take your hands on your feet, depending on your capability. If your back starts to round at this point, stay in that concave back position. If you can go a little bit further, press into the feet so you can feel that strap at the sacrum, lengthening, front body lengthening, coming down to your maximum without moving the back of the upper back toward the ceiling. Lengthen from the pubic bone, moving your head toward the end of your mat. Stay with your breath. And then straighten the arms, staying in that concave position. Maintain the inner knee down, inner thigh down, and then reach your arms up, coming up into Urdhva Hastasana. Interlace your fingers, Baddha Gulianasana. Reach your arms up, press into the feet, feeling that curve, that sacral band moving in, chest lifting, look up. Navel moving towards your lower back, toward that sacral band. So the center of the body is getting reduced from the front to the back, from the back to the front, and lengthen up. Bring your hands down, change the cross on the fingers, and lift up. Keep inner knees down, calves extending down towards your heels. Center of the thigh bone at the head of the femur bone moving down. Sacral band moving forward, lower back lifting up. Shoulders descending, shoulder blades moving down and forward towards your armpit. And then release. Okay, take your strap off. And we went into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg. We went into Uttanasana, a deep forward bend, and Paschimottanasana. So all those forward bending actions coming from the movement of the sacrum to come deeper into those poses. So it's good to know the direction that you're headed before you head there, and what areas you need to be aware of. So hopefully this chumbal and the bandage, you had something that was firm, or the towel. This is a very small towel, but you could have a larger towel and roll it. You could even put rubber bands around it so it stays like that, and use that. You can either use it depending on your strap width, either this way or this way. Okay? Play around with that. Be curious. That sacral band is important for all of our other standing poses as well. So learning that through these may be useful. Okay? All right. Good to see you. Namaste.